Condition bad so the earth man go on. Condition good for you so you come. Can't take me to release that my zone. Yeah, the lion of Judah throne. Oh, the lion of Judah throne. The lion of Judah throne. Oh, Christians from Egypt never heard of Jesus Christ. It's just the earth which is burnt to a price. Sanskrit and Edomites, Nazarites of the verses said it. As the truth rightly divide,
Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. You are now in tune on the One, the Force itself. At this time we call it the Master Blaster Jamming. I am your host for the Underground News Network, Ital Iman. Today is a very special day. It's the 117th birthday of His Imperial Majesty the Emperor Halie Selassie I, 7/23/2009. Let's take a look at this hyper-dimensional gateway, the third eye. The death of Michael Jackson started the countdown, the official countdown, the 1,260 days until the enigmatic year 2012. Let's check this. The 12 courses of masonry above the date 1776 in the Great Seal in the pyramid, it represents a 19.47 years each, those 12 steps of masonry there. Okay, this end, that formula ended on July 4th of this year. 6 days later the countdown began. Note that Michael Jackson died on the 25th. Okay, his memorial was on the 27th, so 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 days after that end date of July 4th, 2009, when that 12 course ended there, that 19.47 years, 3 days after Michael Jackson's memorial starts, began the 3 year until the enigmatic year 2012. So we see a portal. Haile Selassie opened the 7 seals. The 7 seals are the 7 chakras, starting at the base chakra, the root chakra, and going on up to the 1,000 petal lotus. You are now in tune on the One, the Force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster Jamming. Okay, we know that at 49 days of gestation, the pineal gland appears in the human embryo. Michael Jackson died June 25th. He was memorialized 12 days later, July 7, 2009. That equals 25, showing that he died on the 25th. Born 8/29/1958. All right, Los Angeles. Michael Jackson's death certificate has been released without a listed cause of death, and the coroner said investigators are still testing the singer's brain. Public health officials issued a death certificate on Tuesday, the same day public and private memorials were held in Los Angeles. The cause of death is listed as deferred. Check that word, deferred. Assistant Chief Coroner Ed Winter said Jackson's brain, or at least part of it, was still being held by investigators and would be returned to the family for interment once neuropathological tests were completed. As soon as we are done with the brain, he said, we will return it. There is a whole series of tests that will be done. The Thriller hitmaker, the paper says, death certificate signed by Sister Latoya lists the cause of death as deferred. Okay, what does this word deferred mean? Suspended or withheld for or until a certain time. That's what deferred means. Or event, deferred payment, deferred taxes. Okay, deferred, delayed, postponed, imply keeping something from occurring until a future time. To defer is to decide to do something later on. To defer, making a payment, to delay or something. So we get the point. to postpone a thing. We know we're going to put it off. All right. After death, check this. The soul takes 49 days to leave and enter another body. It takes 49 days to what do you call it? Incarnate. So we just think about this. I think his body's still out right now, so we're reaching close to those 49 days. They say they're checking on his brain to see what happened to him, but you know. Recently, Los Angeles coroner spokesman Greg Harvey said that neuropathological tests are going on. They'll be conducted to see if the brain holds any clues to the exact cause of death. However, the examination cannot start until at least 2 weeks after the death. So after the memorial, they just turned the birth certificate in, so they hadn't started doing the test even yet. So when they turned the certificate in, it was supposed to start right there. So 2 weeks after that. So that leads us up to about 30-something days. So he said you can't do anything till the brain has hardened sufficiently to slice it open. Okay, now we're gonna leave that a little bit there. It's like fireflies, you know, in the dark. Fireflies come and shed a little light, you know, blink, blink, you know, maybe something will come on in somebody's head and they go, oh yeah, that's what it is. So just take my words as fireflies in your darkest night. We're gonna move on from that the gateway. We're gonna go to another part. The when I went back in, I think it was the early 80s or late 80s or early 90s, the proof of person. People always talking about the mark of the beast. Let's get something straight here. It ain't no mark of the beast to come. We already got the mark of the beast. First of all, the mark of the beast is your social security number, and everybody get that at the time of birth. So they give you this mark, and it's branded into your forehead. Your soul, your pineal gland, your brain picks up on it. This number 246287, whatever the number is, that number sticks with you until death. You never forget it. So you have the mark. It's branded. That's one thing you never forget. It goes with you throughout your life. You're marked. They track you by that social security number. So that's the original mark of the beast. So what comes on later don't really matter. Everybody is already marked now, unless some of us new age people, we keep our children away from. But check this. When they first started issuing a barcode and putting a color code on things, they did it in steps. So I think it was about 1973 the codes came out. This guy called George L. Laurier, an employee at the Rothschilds-controlled IBM, invents a UPC, Universal Product Code, barcode, which will eventually be placed upon every item traded worldwide. You know, Revelation chapter 13, verse 17 states that, and no man might buy or sell save he have the mark of the beast and all that kind of thing. His name shall be the mark. Okay, so this guy George J. Laurier, he worked for IBM, which is a Rothschild company, a group of Jews. Not all Jews, but these Rothschild Jews are the Jews that we're focusing on, not all Jews. These Rothschild Jews are one of the international bankers that control everything. It was started there. So when it first started out, I bought a loaf of bread. You know, they started like in little codes, like putting the codes down. They didn't have the machines in the stores yet, so they took it by steps. So this was, when I first saw this thing, it was called proof of purchase emblem. So if you take the first letters of each one of those words, proof of purchase emblem, we spell the word Pope, P-O-P-E, proof of purchase emblem. That was the original code. The original UPC code was called proof of purchase emblem. Do your research, call IBM or whatever, and ask them what the original code was, and we'll find that original code was proof of purchase emblem, and the first letters of proof of purchase emblem spell out Pope. So we saw who the beast was, and that was the Pope that was during the time of Ronald Wilson Reagan, not this Pope, but the Pope before him. He was known as the beast, and Ronald Wilson Reagan had 6 letters in Ronald, 6 in Wilson, and 6 in Reagan, so it was 666. So you had that Pope John Paul and Reagan, they was all the same, they was a beast. You know what I'm saying? You are now in tune, only one, the force itself. At this time, we call the master of Blaster Jam, and I hope you enjoy these little fireflies here. One love, peace. Celebrate real now. This is us. Dog Days also, 23rd. Happy birthday, Emperor Halie Selassie I, Holy Emmanuel I, peace, 12 tribes, one love Maya Bengi, one love Orthodox, peace, Rastafari, live.